Good afternoon, class. My name is Aliana Lewis, and this afternoon I will be presenting my Prac 2002 experience. I was fortunate enough to be assigned to the San Fernando Methodist Primary School at 34 to 36 Manchagan Street, San Fernando. I then reported to Mrs. McGregor's Standard 1 class, which consisted of 20 students. At this third class, Kenisha and I taught a total of 3 lessons. Our first one was a social studies lesson titled My Country, the Culture Developing a Culture of Safety. Our second lesson was a mathematics lesson titled Non-Standard Units of Measurement. And our third was a science titled Weather Patterns in Trinidad and Tobago. There were a lot of experiences that definitely made an impact on me personally, as well as a prospective teacher. Here are just a few. 1. It showed me the importance of getting to know each student personally. At Mrs. McGregor's Standard 1 class, there were a lot of students, and they varied in many different ways. They varied in race, ethnicity, gender, but most importantly, they varied in educational learning styles. I first-handedly saw that not all students learn the same way. There are those that learn pretty quickly, and then there are those that learn very slowly. There were some who were excited to take notes, and some who were excited to draw and stick on stuff in their books. My second point is to ignore the negatives and focus on the most important factor, which are the students. I learned to ignore the heat, ignore the cramped space, and focus on the main task at hand, which is ensuring that the students left the school that day learning something. My third point would be the need to keep learning not only content but trends, slangs, and relevant activity. I first-handedly saw the need to keep up with trends that are relevant to the students. I was able to hold conversation with the students solely based on Cristiano Ronaldo versus Messi. Here are just a list of a few of the common issues that affected me at the San Fernando Methodist Primary School, which can also affect any prospective teacher. Number 1. Poor infrastructure and physical structure of the classroom. The classroom was heated as well as packed. There was literally no wiggle room, no wiggle space. It is my hope one day to become a creative and fun teacher. And being in that small classroom, I could no longer see that happening. What I have to do now is go back to the drawing board, rethink, and research some other ideas that will be fun and creative within that small, tiny space. My second common issue would be indiscipline accompanied with improper methods of controlling this said indiscipline. At Mrs. McGregor class, as I said before, she had 20 students. 20 adorable students. But in the midst, there were students who have definite disciplinary problems. And this made my first practicum experience a little bit harder. Where we would like to have carried on in the lesson, we had to stop and remind students of the classroom rules. My third point would be time management. Practicum in theory and practicum in real life vary tremendously. In a lesson plan taught inside UTT, there are no disruptive behaviors, no PA announcements, no faulty resources. There are no students who take long to grasp ideas. We just deliver a perfect lesson plan, but it is not so in reality. And this is what made time management a bit of an issue in carrying out our lesson plan.
Created using Powtoon.